Hi viewers, another episode of Guest with Nazir. Today we are going to discuss historical facts. And history is very important. The nations who remember their history will be remain in the history. Today we are honored. Our honorable guest is Mr. Mohammed Salim. Welcome in our show.
Thank you.
Mr. Salim, please tell our viewers about your early days and your education.
Well, it was 1961, April, when I came here. When you are new in in any other country, in the foreign country, you feel strange, but you have to adjust yourself with the climate and the community. And it was beginning, most of our people were here for economic reasons, and so was I. Yeah.
And you came here at the age of 24.
Yes.
So please tell our viewers about your early days in Pakistan and your childhood and some memories with your uncles and your grandfather.
Well, in Pakistan, when I came here, I was in Pakistan Customs.
Okay.
Yeah, in Karachi. My early education was, I was living in a village, and my early education was in the village as well. I did my matriculation, and it was in the first division, very high marks, and then straight away I applied for the job because I couldn't continue my education for certain reasons. I came in Karachi and applied for different jobs, and luckily I got 4 interviews, and in those 4 interviews I was offered 4 jobs, and in that situation I had to choose where to go. It was CMA, Pakistan Customs, KPT, and General Radio Pakistan, and I chose for Pakistan Customs. It was back in '56. I was young, and I was in Pakistan Customs when General Ayub Khan's first martial law was in Pakistan. And after that, I had desire to go abroad and explore. And my first step was England, because we had very historical relationship with Britain.
Great Britain.
Yes. And I came here in Sheffield.
You mentioned in your conversation that at the time of martial law of Ayub Khan. So please tell us that how was this time for Pakistan? Because a lot of people, historian writes that when Ayub Khan take over, that was a very vital, because if we were ever have a proper election with the Ayub Khan versus Fatima Jinnah, we would have in a very, very good democratic way. So please tell our viewers about your thoughts.
Martial law, the word, is not very favorable. It's not a beautiful word, as I feel. But at that particular time, the situation in Pakistan was as such that it was inevitable. All the parties were bickering among themselves. Every other day there was a new prime minister. There's a new prime minister. And when Ayub Khan came, there was stability. And although, the history says that the martial laws are no good for any country, military governments are not good for any country, but my feeling is, and the way I think, Ayub Khan stabilized the country. The economy before that, it was in tatters. But when he came and he stabilized the country, and industry from Karachi to Peshawar, it was free entrepreneur. And the greatest thing what he did was 2 dams, Tarbela Dam and Mangla Dam, two biggest dams in the world, and that was his achievement. And I admire him for this. One, I don't think he was a corrupt man.
And I think that's a great endorsement.
I don't think he was a corrupt man. And we had this war in 1965, and we had upper hand. We had upper hand because of the leadership. Later on, Ayub Khan and Mr. Bhutto, he was our foreign minister, they had some differences. And because of those differences, Ayub Khan resigned. But I think it was 1970s. And he handed over to General Yahya Khan. Because General Yahya Khan, he had a very, very fair election. In spite of all his weaknesses, but the election was very fair. And in that election, Mujibur Rahman had the majority, and in East Pakistan, Mr. Bhutto in Pakistan, he had upper hand. But the total majority was Mr. Mujibur Rahman.
So where things goes wrong then? If the election was fair, Mujibur Rahman has got the victory in the general election, so where the things gone wrong then?
Well, it was, say, the power. We all power hungry. Mr. Bhutto didn't want to give power to Mujibur Rahman, and Mujibur Rahman he didn't agree to it. He could have taken the country, Mujibur Rahman, but the people had doubts about him. The people had doubts about him that he was creating problems for Pakistan. He was creating
So
problems.
we will swim again towards the history. But again, your journey was here. You came as a young man. So what was your destination? You came by ship or on
No,
by air?
I came by air SAS. It is SAS plan. It was Dutch Holland's Airways. I came in that one. I was in Amsterdam, and from Amsterdam, I came straight to Heathrow and to Sheffield.
Please tell our few friends who you always keep remember in your memories, in your heart, and you will always, you talk about, there are some friends. So who are your few friends in the United Kingdom? You join them and who are always part of your memories?
Well, my friends, some are dead, no more here. I had quite a lot of friends, most of these people, because those days, the people who were here, unfortunately, I would say unfortunately, not their fault, they were not educated. And they used to come to me, filling forms, going to Social Security, going to doctor, going to solicitors, wherever they couldn't speak English. And they will ask me, and I will voluntarily help them.
How you see the role of those people who came in 50s and 60s to this country? And we should not forget that time when the Second World War was finished and we were struggling here and we need a lot of hard workmanship. So these people fill that gap.
Exactly. Those people who came here, most of them were ex-army, very disciplined people. When they came here, they kept the same discipline, very smart, good suit, white shirts, polished shoes. When I look back, I say, I wish all these people now who are here, they could go back and follow them. Very hardworking, very honest. In those days, all these newspapers, Daily Telegraph, Guardian, I used to read Guardian, Financial Times, even the tabloids, they will praise our people, honest people, very honest and very hardworking. Most of the articles I used to read, when I used to read these articles, I will say, beauty.
But still, there are a lot of talented people. I can name many, young Asian solicitors, doctors, barristers, players. They are doing fantastic job. So what is the reason then why, some things goes all of a sudden change?
There is always a bad apple in the basket. And that bad apple is, I would say, bad name for the community. The new generation, they want to be rich quicker. But that's not the way to become rich, the way they want to. Discipline is not there. The old people, they got their families here, the kids. We didn't focus on education. The first generation, where the kids came up. And then the second generation, education was more important for us. But, the only thing they wanted to do was money. There were two things, money and education. Money is important. They didn't realize that education is important. Education will earn the money, but money will not earn the education. And that was the clawback.
So according to your viewpoint, that was a main flaw?
That was a main flaw, yeah.
But today, when we see youngsters, there are certain youngsters who are very focused on education. And if we look at the youngsters who came at that time, they were economic migrants. So what were the main issues at that time and what issues you see today? So what is the difference between issues today and in the historical facts when we talk about 60s?
Well, this is a very difficult question. Very, very difficult. Everybody has their own point of view. I have mine, you have your own. Those times, as I said, the focus was money, earning. And we lost that generation. I mean, my own family, my family's focus was, I was, say, leader of my family, and my family's focus was education. You will see most of my family intensely, their kids are educated. Here, my brothers, my nephews, my own family, they are all highly educated. My family in Stafford, all of them, the kids, they are highly educated.
Even I met few of them, and you can feel proud of this thing. I think you have a very good, talented youngsters in your family also.
I'm very proud of my own son. I have only one son. He qualified from St. George's, London. He's a surgeon, plastic surgeon, and a cosmetic surgeon as well. He's in Sweden now. My daughter, eldest daughter, she did her GCSE, and she got married. She got 3 kids. Now all those 3 kids, they are highly educated, graduates, and my youngest granddaughter, she's in university. Now, my daughter, the eldest one, she has taken the course in the university. Now she is a student herself, mature student.
So it means the secret you have given to your kids that education is the passport to future. So that is there.
Exactly. Education. I mean, I have a lot of differences with Tony Blair. But one thing I liked about him, a developed country, in one of his speech, when he finished, he says, education, education, and education. I parted away. I liked it. Education, is your base. I mean, here, we did not achieve what we should have. Look at the number of Pakistanis and people from Azad Kashmir. What percentage we have in the education? I don't think it is about 3 or 4% people who are educated.
So where things gone wrong? Because if we talk, as I mentioned earlier, we stress on that point that the first generation came, they worked hard, second generation worked hard, but now all the facilities are there, finances are there, facilities are there, but the kids are not going towards the education. So what is the reason?
Well, I think it mostly depends on the parents. Parents should focus on that. Our, say, mostly desire is the money. But we should also, this wealth, you spend it and it increases education. But pounds, you spend them, they decrease. I think we have gone wrong there. But there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's not never too late. We can start, can say, right, we can start it from today. And inshallah, we will get the point where we want to be. But education is the most important part of our life. As I said, Tony Blair said education. It is a developed country. They have the system, beautiful system. We underdeveloped. We need education and more education. And we have every opportunity in this country. This country is offering us
so
every
it means
opportunity.
the younger generation, the youngsters should utilize the facilities here.
Of course. The youngsters, they should. It's all saying, Beti Ganga mein haath dho lo.
We will continue this one. Viewers, we have a shortage of the time. We will continue this interesting interview with Mr. Salim. And this is our first episode. We will continue this journey in second episode.